Okay, we are recording.
All right. Welcome to the SGA caucus, and welcome everyone who's a candidate for our new student government for this year. I know we're going through a little bit of trouble, but of course we're on Zoom and we're able to make it work. So kudos to y'all for coming together and pulling it through. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and ask is, what is your campaign bringing this year, and what are some of the things you're hoping to bring to SGA?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, what is your campaign hoping to accomplish, and what are you hoping to bring to SGA?
This is a general question for everybody?
Yes,
Yes.
so say your name, what you're running for, and then answer the question.
Okay. I think I'll go first.
Start, or you want to start? Or
Go ahead. I'll go
okay.
last.
So hello, everyone. My name is Ferdinando Johnny Castro Gonzalez. I am running for the vice president position for Student Government Association. Is that okay, Kelly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, according to what I understand, you're asking for a campaign. So my campaign goals is really related to my goals, which means I want to bring more participation with students, because I believe, and I will at least will hope, that we can be that voice for the students. But if we are not engaging with them, if we are not actually listening to them, we cannot do our job. You see, so we are supposed to be the voice on campus for them, to bring all those ideas, all those challenges the students are having, so we can take them to the proper organism and make something happen. But this participation cannot happen if they do not know exactly that we exist. I do believe that we have a stigma with our name, for example, with the whole government. Like in our generation, we cannot like to be associated with government. But we don't really are about government per se. It's just like a name. We're more like an institution that is there to help the student like have a better living on campus, to organize their clubs so they can have their own events and activities that can further their education. We're supposed to like help in, like, if there is like those cameras of surveillance that were not working properly, we updated them. Like if you are having issues with, like, you don't have a phone that like lasts long enough for you to actually finish your classes with battery, we put some like chargers in there. But the issue is that the students, they don't really understand how this process seems to work. I already spoken with a couple of them that they cannot believe that that just happens. But it doesn't happen that way, because if the president of the dean don't have access to that information because they're in their offices working a lot, there has to be an organism that bring all this information, and that organism is us. So I want to be SGA more participative with the students, so they are more interactive with us, hence we can do our job better.
Okay, why don't we go by role?
Mm-hmm.
So Isra, that would be you next.
Alrighty. Hi guys, my name is Isra Qureshi and I am a Richland College student. I have been here for about, I want to say 2 years. So what I would bring to SGA is that already I will say that hats off to our current officers who've done a marvelous job kind of breaking SGA out of the shell a little bit, because when I had initially joined SGA, I wasn't quite aware of what SGA does, or like Ferdinando said, I had that same exact stigma of the government, where I was kind of iffy about the word government doesn't sit well with a student organization, because when we look at government, we're automatically like, oh, it doesn't bode well for us, or they can't have too much power, kind of a thing. But when I got to make friends at SDA, when I started getting involved a little bit more, I started realizing that it's not exactly how government is structured. Yes, we can say the roles are somewhat similar, but we can't say that this is a government organization. This is an organization that supports voices of the students and that supports the general student body as a whole. So part of what I have learned through experience is that collaboration seems to be key. Yes, we need student participation, and yes, we need to ensure that more students feel like they have a place to voice their opinions and their ideas, and maybe even voice their concerns and problems that they don't think are related to the college, but maybe we can help them as a whole. So in addition to that, I want to ensure that SGA is able to make all these student organizations powerful enough for us to kind of feel well acquainted with each other, where we're able to execute collaborative events and collaborative items where both types of students are feeling acquainted and they're feeling that, okay, yes, this is another thing that's available for me, or this is another thing that can help me as a student. Because at the end of the day, my goal relates to more so how the end user, who's our student, benefiting from this process. Not only do the officers need to benefit from their year as serving and learning, but our students in general need to be able to benefit from all the things that we accomplish within that year as well. So part of my goals pertain to making sure that each of the students, whoever gets engaged with SGA or even tries to get involved, takes away something of value and substance, where we're able to say that, okay, our SGA has truly strengthened our student body, and that we're able to say that, yes, SGA is responsible for the resume building workshop, or they're responsible for a scholarship awareness, where more students have a chance of saying that, oh, I wasn't aware of this, but now I am. So I hope that has answered the question.
Yes, thank you. All right, next candidate.
Let's go with
Let's see.
Nabila next.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Nabila Iqbal, and I'm running for the position of the Speaker of the House. My goal as a speaker, well, my job as the speaker would be to be that link of communication between student organizations at Richland and Student Government Association. So my goal for this year would be to, as Freddie said, bring more participation in SGA, because what I've noticed is that a lot of clubs don't participate in the Student Government Association as much as they should. They don't realize that we give them the funding, that we are the link to the higher ups who get the jobs done. So the Student Government Association is basically the basic foundation that is needed so that the other clubs can exist. So, and also with as a member of the campus activities board, I have noticed, and as I plan events and stuff for students, I know what they want. So I think that would help me in bringing more to the table when it comes to putting out what students need and what they want in their clubs. Thank you, that's it.
You're good, we were muted, but thank you. All right, next candidate would be Kelly. What you got? Turn on your mic.
Yusha.
Okay, hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Yusha Qureshi. I'm running for Speaker of the House. And that's an excellent question. And actually, it's good to know that my video is circled enough around to reach my my opposing candidate, and that's a win for me. But what I can bring to the table and what my goals are with this is to take the SGA and practically carry it like a baby, to take it to the next level. The potential that it has, it's phenomenal. And as it's mentioned in the Constitution, as Speaker of the House, it is the person's responsibility to be the mediator between club organization, students, individuals, student clubs and everything, and the administration, because how is an organization going to get the funds if the administration does not know the root cause of why the funds are being requested or who is requesting the funds? So that is a primary task of the Speaker of the House. Aside from that, it is also the responsibility of the Speaker of the House to keep track and record of all student clubs, groups, organizations, student bodies, and practically the entire system, and to keep track of how many students on each club are and what they do exactly. So what I bring to the table is that my innate writing abilities, they got me into the Region 2 as chairperson of the Legislative Committee, which means I foresee and I take care of the entire constitution of Region 2. As Speaker of the House, I think I can take what we have, and I know I can make it better by promoting it enough, by having enough groups organized, by having enough groups come to the actual meetings and not just peruse or look over the meeting minutes. As some people, as the president of our campus has constantly been complaining and been telling us to attend more meetings, but unfortunately some of the candidates who are running right now don't exactly attend many meetings. That's the same thing with so many clubs, groups, and organizations. They want to request the funds, they need the funds to survive, but they simply don't make it to the meetings. And as Speaker of the House, it will be my responsibility and my duty to make sure that as many clubs and organizations that can attend do attend, because if for example the president of the club, let's say MSA, Muslim Student Association, if he does not know when is the date to submit a documentation to collect funds, or the documentation to be represented at let's say student fair, excuse me. So he would need to attend the meetings to be able to obtain that timings. And as Speaker of the House, it will be my responsibility to make sure those who could not make it to the meeting do at least get meeting minutes and get the things that we discussed in the meeting. So I think that's what I can bring to the table.
All right, good. All right, next candidate.
That brings us back to the beginning again.
Good. Okay,
I'm
then we're
sorry.
good.
I'm sorry. Edward, you're up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I gotta forget about the president, man. Come on.
Yeah, sorry, Edward.
You're uncontested though, so like.
Yes, I am, but I still gotta say
You're running against Edgar.
I'm running
Go
against
ahead,
myself.
Edward.
Nice.
Edward, what in the world? Okay. So that's a good question. As you guys know, have been in SGA for a long time, for 3 years now. I've seen how both presidents and all the officers have been working. I mean, have worked under about 3 presidents right now. I'll be honest to you. So, and as the current president, also the future president, it's my goal to make sure there's a link between the officers and the students. And I want more student engagement, more student, recognition. You know what I'm saying? And also, I want my cabinet, my future cabinet, to work with me and also work with them to make sure. I mean, yes, we might have some little issues, but I want everybody to know, whoever wins their positions, I want that person to know that they're not just here for themselves. They're here for the students and also for the student body. They work for the student body. They didn't just elect themselves. The students elect them into office to work for them. So like Yusha was saying, and all of the other candidates were saying, that more engagement, more student coming, making sure that students know that what SGA is, because sometimes we always have meetings and we just have four people showing up. Guys, you guys can relate. So I want more clubs, organizations to know, as I represent them as their president, also, speak to them, engage with students more. That means like being friends, laughing with them, tell them about student government, because sometimes some students like so scared about government because they heard the word government. So, I'll be like, hey, I mean, it's not, I'm like, yes, there's politics involved in there. Trust me. There's always going to be politics involved. But also, we are also fun. We have fun stuff to do. And we have, and under my leadership, Kelly, can I say administration? Is it okay?
Sure.
Okay, under my administration, student government has done, my administration has done a lot. There's a lot of events and a lot of things that we brought to in Richland campus, like for example, like lights in El Paso Hall, that was student government. Title IX installment in the men's bathroom, that's student government. And also there's more changes coming for in the campus, and also we're looking about more accomplishment. And also the one key stuff that I have issue with, the student always come to me, is communication between the administration and the students, and also other clubs and organizations. That because the administration always just do what they want to do without communicating with the students. I want to make sure that communication is still, flexible. You know what I'm saying? Or if they want to have if they can't communicate with the students, that's why they have a student government. to,
I see.
say, yeah, so this is what we're doing, this is what we are doing. So can you please relate that to the student body? And we would love to. That's what we're here for. So yeah.
Good. All right. So I'm hearing a lot of we want more student participation, and we want to make sure our students are able to know that we're here, and we really want to make sure that we're getting them engaged and that they know that this is a piece to connect with administrators who are higher ups in our college. So what are some ways that you guys are working to kind of let students know? I know we can post posters along the walls, but what are some ways that we can actually talk with students and hear their voice? All right.
Okay, there you
Or
go.
Isra, I'm sorry.
There you go.
We'll just go in the same order.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
go.
okay. That sounds good.
Okay, so it's me again. Hi. Well, first of all, I don't know if you're aware, probably not, but my major is exhibition and event management. And a lot of the ways that we engage with students on campus is through events and meetings. And I've been studying this major for over 3 years already. I'm about to graduate actually after I finish with this um, year of semester. So the thing is that I already have a lot of experience organizing events, whether to by myself or with others. For example, I managed to raise over $6,000 in scholarships for students on my major, and I had to create a whole committee in order to do so, and have to like speak with big companies such as American Airlines, Marriott, for them to fund us. So there is also that. I also serve as the Region 2 Resolution Committee Chair for the Student Government Association. So in that case, I had to be in charge of at least 16 colleges, which summed up to be almost 40 members for the Student Government Association. And I had to do like a research. So then we can create like resolutions to propose to the regional conference in order to start like creating a better environment for the students to educate themselves. And in order to do so, I had to be engageful, I had to have a plan for them to follow up because we are very far away from each other. And it was through constant communication and me showing up like, hey, you're not in this alone. I had to teach them how to write resolutions, how to even get access to what issues you have on campus, because it is amazing sometimes people don't realize that something that is very clear in there is actually something that is missing everywhere. For example, there was an issue with the feminine hygiene products that no other, like really campuses were not providing it. So there's that issue. I see that there is a 10-minute time. How we're gonna deal with that?
Yeah. So what we'll do is we can kind of time you guys. If we have several candidates, let's see if we can wrap it up to
Okay.
each of y'all have
I
like a
can try
minute.
to, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say is that even as a senator, I even created an event for SGA by myself that lasted 3 days, promoting our transportation and services, and I managed to almost implement that to 100 students on campus. And I've been working so much that in a semester and a half, I have done more than 600 hours of community service. So I know how to do this. I have a lot of practice, and I know I have a lot of experience in this regard.
You're a man of action. Good. All right, let's move on to the next candidate.
All right, can you guys hear me?
There we go. Yeah,
All
I can hear
right.
you.
So as the chapter president for Phi Theta Kappa, I am a current chapter for our honor society on campus called Phi Theta Kappa. And this is a challenge that we had constantly been facing in terms of outreach to students and getting enough of us involved to actually call it an event. Something I found very, very effective is word of mouth. If the event itself is of value to the student, we rest assured the rest of your marketing is done. What we had to utilize is at one end, yes, electronically, we can send out as many emails as we can send out notices, we can post things on social medias and whatnot. But the whole problem, it's too crowded. There are so many organizations on campus. On top of it, especially now being online, there are so many notifications coming through your professors, through your project group people who you're supposed to be doing group projects with online. So that kind of gets lost in translation, and that kind of gets lost in meaning, where students really need to evaluate that, is this even worth it for me to open it and see what it is? So something that I found really effective is that if you're presenting to the students something that they need, they will come in, they will follow through. But if it's something that's not relevant to them, or if they feel that they can't relate or have that connection to whatever it is you're presenting, you can do 1,000 paid advertisements and no one will show up. So for me, personally speaking, through experience, I will say that word of mouth is the best advertisement you can get in terms of student engagement, and presenting or addressing the issues that the students themselves don't even know exist. But you, as a student perspective and in a position of leadership, can shed light on it, and you can make sure that, okay, if this is something I'm facing, there might be a possibility that others are facing this too. So that's how you can kind of tackle the issue of student engagement and make sure that more people are getting engaged on campus.
Good. All right. Thoughtful and effective. Nice. All right. Next candidate.
Okay, so I think the best way that we can get the word about SGA out is through social media. And right now, if we look at the SGA Instagram page, there's not a lot of followers. Every time we try to go live, there's maybe maximum 10 people that join in. So I think the best way we could get the word out is through social media. And we could do that by not just posting, but also maybe doing like stuff that people would want to participate in. And it's games, giveaways, anything that would bring them, that would always force them to come to SGA, because that's where everything is happening. So SGA should be like the top organization. Like there's a lot, every club has an Instagram page, but SGA should be the one that is like on the top and has the most followers, the most activities going on, so that people always come back to SGA. And as a part of student media, I think I can get the word out through that outlet as well, if not just social media, through the newspaper, through video recordings, to the radio show, and other methods. So I think if we just make it fun, because the word government in like the Student Government Association, everybody thinks the word government, that makes it all serious. We're going to have long, boring meetings where everyone's just talking formally. We're not going to have any fun. That's what people think of SGA. So getting the word out that it's not just that, and it's so much more and so much more fun and important to them, is what is going to make SGA more popular.
Good. Thank you, Nabila. All right. Next candidate.
To me, what's going to bring more student involvement? I mean, before everything, each and every one of us is or has been a student. And to us, psychologically speaking, when you see a flyer, when you just have to be somewhere, it's condescending. You don't really want to do it because you're being told to do it. And sending out emails is not necessarily the best option, because emails are usually considered more formal. I personally don't open emails that have like, oh, you need to attend this, and this, because I'm a person of my own time and that's how I like to work. But to get more students involved, for starters, we need to get them to be able to attend SGA meetings. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to give them an oversight of what the SGA can help them with. If the leaders of each group or organization know how the SGA can help them, they're going to tell their organizations that, hey, SGA is helping us with this, and this. So it's our job to round up the people. And how that's going to happen is, 1, through social media, 2, through word of mouth, 3, as flyers, we already do. 4, we could publish it in the newspaper, but that only comes out once a week. And if we can sum up the events, I believe we're already doing that, because Adrian, I think I've attended a couple of meetings with you guys, and I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Do correct me if I'm wrong. And
meetings, yeah, we can do different things for newspaper. Usually it's electronic. There's different methods, so it doesn't have to be limited to just weekly. But there are options, so reach out to what you do have there for resources, for sure.
Yeah, so that's exactly my point. When there's no awareness of how the school can help the clubs, organizations, and students be more participated, no one's going to show up. People just show up to our events. From what I've seen as being part of CAB, Student Media, SGA, MAP, so many different clubs and organizations I'm a part of, and people just show up to get their service learning. And that's pretty much the most amount of involvement. But when we spread the word that, hey, there's, for example, a giveaway happening, hey, we're having pets on campus, like how many times do we have dogs on campus and people don't know about it until it's already too late? So let's go ahead and build a timeline where, like right now, we're campaigning, we're marketing ourselves on why we should be the best candidate. Let's take this plan and implement it to each and every event that we do, maybe not a week, 3 days, 2 days, and we're on campus 5 days only. So let's make it 2 days ahead of an event. Make sure it's spoken about enough times, tag people in it, tag organizations, tell the students what the Student Government Association or any specific group is bringing to the table, why it should be attended. People should not be telling, hey, you should attend it. We should be reaching out to people, telling them what benefit it's going to bring them. Because right now, I've seen in the emails that have been sent out by the current Speaker of the House, and those are not fascinating at all. They're just typed up, and it makes you feel like, what am I to do with this? But if you add color to it, if you change the font size, make it more concise, make it presentable, that's how people are going to attend more events, more meetings. That's how we're going to get students to be involved.
You want to be more engaging and you want to make sure you're in a place where most students are at. All right, let's wrap it up because we do have a time limit, but thank you.
What about this guy?
Go ahead, Edward. Kelly, you're muted.
Oh.
Okay.
For me, all I would say to engage, to bring, like I said, I've been here for 3 years, man. And what I've seen so far is communication. We need communication. That's the most important thing I always tell this current EBO right now. I say, hey, make sure you guys communicate with each other and also communicate with the students. Not just be like, and also sometimes for the past 2 years now, well, last year and this year, it's like we've been slow with, we have flyers, we put it on our board, but sometimes we're slow to pass it or I don't know what. So and also we need communication and boldness. If we have an event, let's say if we have like a town hall about men's rights or something, then we'll be like, hey guys, men's rights, go to each student and explain to them, I mean, yeah, we can also kind of bribe them a little bit, like, hey, we have cookies, we have food, because trust me, I know students, man, when we say food, they're running. So something like that,